Hello everyone, and welcome to PAX Area Gaming. My name is Reg, your host along the way, and we are continuing our march through New Thunderclap Temple. In the last video, we covered roughly maybe 50%, maybe a little bit more of Thunderclap Temple. Today we're going to complete the remainder of the temple. So let's grab this. Remember, we had a conversation with the horse squai, who is tied to a post here. He actually, there he is right there. He actually has a name. His name is Ma Tianba. Tianba, I think I'm pronouncing it right. And as I mentioned earlier, he appears in all of the chapters up to this point. He is in the next chapter as well. I don't know whether he's in the final chapter, but he is definitely in the next chapter. So this little courtyard pond type area is one of many of these little inner areas. This one's a little bit different because it's actually much more scenic, rustic. Actually, I like it. There's this chest and lots of enemies, but nothing we can't handle since we had been fighting these particular types of enemies throughout this section of the game. These are our lightning tossing guys. There are a couple of rock throwing guys. And I think the ice meditating monks. And there may be a fox squai or two here as well. So let's take these guys out. These are the meditating frost guys. And they are mostly harmless, as you can tell. I forgot about this guy. He was probably the most dangerous of the guys that we face in this area. Let's check up here. I think, like I said, for an area as big as this little pond area is, it's really not a lot of enemies that should give you trouble. You face a little bit more challenge in the sort of next part that we get to, because there are two major mini bosses before you get to the chapter boss. So let's do this. And obviously for me, I'm just getting whatever that is going to be converted to will, because I'd already gotten whatever the item was that was in there. I don't remember what the item was. There are not many of these guys left, so let's take Oh, this monk guy out. Another monk. Blind monk. I guess I'll try to distinguish between the types of monks. The blind monks versus the meditating frost monks. This guy. He was loading up to hit me with that big boulder. Yeah, that can only mean that somewhere along the line I missed one of the lightning guys. It's sort of why you want to take them out. They're annoying. I don't know that they can actually... well, I guess they could kill you. Yeah, I mean, in my first playthrough, I think I did die a couple of times to those guys. Okay, so now we can head back to the path that takes us, that progresses us. We came over here to make sure we cleared that area. Matiamba isn't going to say anything else. In your first playthrough, he does give you a special gourd. Once you have it, you won't get it again. I think in the next playthrough he gives you... In the first two playthroughs he gives you something. I don't think he gives you anything in the second. In the third. Okay, so now we're going to make our way deeper into New Thunderclap Temple. Let's take this guy and his little buddy over here. If anything, it allows you to refill your focus when you're just fighting these guys and killing them. So that's a good thing. That's probably one of the quickest monk kills that I've had so far. They can absorb a lot of damage. So let's collect that wisp. Take this guy out. And these guys are napping on the job because they're just letting me walk all through their little temple. Everything looks like we got everything. Looks like we have everything here. And these guys are protecting one of the bosses of this area. I believe he's one of the non-bosses. Okay, there's one monk left. Loop around, make sure there's no one else. Okay, looks like all clear. And now we go and meet this guy. Okay, so my bad. Since I wasn't in fox form, which is what I needed to do to complete the guy's quest, I had to activate the fox thingy, and then once I do that, he'll recognize me. Yeah, this was the quest that you got earlier before you entered New Thunderclap Temple from the dead guy who gave you the ability to transform into the fox. Which, by the way, you could use throughout your exploration. You could turn into a fox, run past a lot of the enemies, get into Thunderclap Temple, New Thunderclap Temple, and sort of search through the place for any chests and things like that. If you get close enough to some of the enemies, they will recognize you. And so carelessness on my part led to my death. So left that in so you guys can see that, yeah, I actually will die from time to time. So let's be more careful this time and not die to this guy again. Much better fight this time around. Much better. Much, much better. Okay, we will collect his soul, his spirit, which I think I already have. Yeah. So we are sort of retracing our way back to one of the final areas that lead up to the last section of the temple. This annoying guy. If you have Fireproof Mantle equipped, most of his attacks won't bother you too much because you're sort of protected from a lot of the fire. I mean, it will still chip away, but it won't kill you outright. Okay, so this is the final plaza area of New Thunderclap Temple. You have these two ginormous guys. Now I'm running right past them because I want to get to the shrine. I figure if I die, then I won't have a longer run back. At least if I die after I activate this, then I'm right at the top of the steps. And there's another boss. There are these two guys, and there's one other boss, and then there is the main boss. So now we can go back and sort of face these guys with a little bit more confidence. And they're not difficult. These guys, they're, well, they'll try to kick you. They're pretty big. Reminds me of the Mimic in the Souls games. You have to hit their feet. Actually, it's the only thing you can lock on to unless they fall down, and I think you can lock onto their head. They don't have huge health pools for as big as they are, and they can injure one another. So if you can somehow position yourself so that the second one attacks and hits the first one, he will injure the first one. Since I'm not much of an expert at positioning, I'm usually just scampering out of the way trying to stay alive. That was not a strategy that worked for me. I think it may have happened sort of incidentally a couple of times, but not in this particular playthrough. Okay, so now that they are taken care of, I want to go and tackle the boss, not the main boss. One of the, I don't know whether they're mini bosses because they have the big name thingy. Let's just say one of the bosses, but not the chapter boss. Let's just check to make sure we're not missing any items. You know, I never made note of where the items were in this game. So as I play through, I sort of remember some of them. The important ones you need in order to progress certain elements of the story. Like there's certain things you need to do to get one of the secret bosses near the end of the game. There's something else you need to do to get a secret boss in Chapter 6, and you collect those items along the way. It's not always clear why you're collecting them while you're collecting. You just know that it's something that you run by. It has a signal that you should inspect it, and then you pick it up. So let's deal with this guy. Yeah, that fan really makes some of these guys really easy to deal with. It stun locks them. You can use immobilize while they're stun locked as well to keep them from moving away. So all they do is get picked up and put back down, and sometimes it moves them around the arena while you're doing it. I think there are only a couple of bosses in this game that's immune to it, and since you get to keep all the items that you gain with subsequent playthroughs, the good thing is once you go through the game once and you get all of these particular items, you still have them. So you don't have to go and try to find them again, although in some parts of the game it allows you to complete the quest for particular NPCs. Even though when you get the reward, you won't actually get that since you already have it in your arsenal. So that's the experience I had. And remember, in this playthrough, I'm really only aiming to get unlock the third element of each of the relics. So that's my goal. I don't really need to collect anything. I think I have all the gourds in the game. The only thing new was the Lunar New Year drip that you got when you started the game after a certain date. I don't remember the date. It was before the actual date of Lunar New Year, but it was close to Lunar New Year. I haven't worn it. I guess I should look at the stats. But I like the traditional Sun Wukong outfit better anyway. Okay, so we have finally arrived at the chapter boss. He's got a lot of explaining to do.
看不得灵山从来祥光瑞霭，山下却遭着苦困天灾。他说：“凡诸众生皆有慧根，何以只有你我高高在上，其他人就只配磕头烧香？”我说：“因为他们不如你我。” 后来，他犯了大错，重入轮回，又收了几个徒弟，可结果如何？徒弟死的死，逃的逃，连他自己也躲了起来。要我说，这些去取经的都是废物，信什么狗屁如来？ 不如我自己来。今天未来，为何不败？
This fight is an incredibly long, multi-phase fight. And as you can see, he's shock-based or lightning-based. Seems like other than that one chapter, actually that's not true. There are a couple of chapters where fire is the main attribute of a main bane of the bosses. The goal is not to get stun locked. And as I mentioned earlier in one of the other episodes, there are items. There's armor that you can wear that sort of gives you a little bit more shock resistance. In addition to the armor, there's a curios that you can use that will also give you shock resistance. And there may be a soak that you can use in your gourd drink to also make you less susceptible to that particular bane. And of course there's Mind Core that you can use to increase your immunity to, or your resistance to this particular bane. And part of this playthrough is maxing all of those out. Since I've already maxed out the main attributes, health, mana, stamina, those kinds of things are already maxed. With fire resistance, shock resistance, all of the bane resistances, I still have a little bit to go. Not very much, but a little bit. Okay, so that was phase 1 of the fight. Like I said, there are multiple phases of this fight. It's one of those fights that sort of wear you out as you're going through because you're afraid, if I die at this part, will I come back to that part? The answer is no, you'll go back to the beginning of the fight. Okay, so he was imitating the young monk at the opening scene. He stole the young monk's seed sack, which is where the Destined One and Zubaji and the Macaque Chief are all in. So while he was running around imitating the young monk, he also stole the seed sack. So we now know that he was sort of imitating the guy, or at least impersonating him. The only phase of the fight that's actually difficult is the 4th and final phase of the fight. This is not difficult, although you can die. I mean, you can die in any of the phases. You can die in the first phase when you're fighting him. You can die in this phase as well. Macaque Chief hits pretty hard, even with Zubaji's help, but then you have this duplicate version of the Macaque Chief. He moves around the arena really fast. Zubaji was trying to heal me, but not quick enough. So yes, I ended up dying. And like I said, you go back to the beginning. Alright. So now we're in phase 2. I don't intend on dying again. Okay. Okay, so we're locked in and focused on this guy. There we go. Okay, so now we're moving into the third phase of the fight. Which is probably different from any part of the game so far. So now you have to fight as the Macaque Chief. Through about a zillion monks. So you're working your way towards a platform area where phase 4 will begin. And for me, that was the most difficult phase of the fight. You do get a couple of new abilities, at least a new ability, at different parts of this phase. Those heavy attacks look kind of cool. can see Yellowbrow off to the right, looking over the fight. I was having such a difficult time with that guy. Yeah, these bosses love trash talking while they're putting you through the paces. So our aim was to get to this platform where phase 4 of the fight will begin. He still has all of his lightning abilities. He can also hit you with the cudgel thing that he's wielding. He has the ability to teleport across and around the arena. It's hard to pick up where he lands because you automatically lose the lock on. And he has rock solid. Yeah, I was trying to use the fan there. This is where you can get the most damage in. He does telegraph a lot of his moves. That doesn't mean I'm good at dodging them, but he does telegraph a lot of his moves. Yeah, that was not a very good one. I probably should have waited until a little bit later in the fight to use the fan. Yeah, I can't tell when he's going to do the move that he just did. capable of doing it more than once, but I'm not sure whether it's because I got too close to him or what the deal is. You can also put one of those little electric circles around you, and you have to sort of jump out of it. You can't walk out of it. It's pretty agile for a big guy. Those little sumo stomps are driving me crazy. Yeah, those are easy to dodge. I mean, the idea is throughout this whole fight is just to keep moving. He won't really chase you down, but he will, when you get close, swing at you and then fire off these little electrical things. That roar sort of stuns you. I don't think I ever paid attention to that. I think in my first playthrough, I died quite a few times to this guy. Mostly in the final phase, mostly in this phase. I know I died once in the Makachi phase. I probably died once or twice in the first phase as well. But this final phase, because it's so long, and you know, have to manage your resources, which I didn't do because I'd used them all up in the earlier part of the fight. You do get them back when you start this phase. But you burn through everything pretty quickly when you're trying to stay alive, trying to use your transformations, things like that. The Stone Monkey transformation, which you get from completing the game the first time, is the actual strongest transformation in the game. Before you get that, I would say Red Tides is the strongest. But if you're looking for something that has resistance to shock, then it would be the sort of rock guai thing, because it absorbs a lot of shock. Actually, it takes no damage from the shock. Yeah, I used him in the Yellow Long fight. In the first playthrough, before I got enough skill to not need to use it. He and Sun Wukong used to hang out together. I mean, so it's funny how these characters in the game are used. It's pretty interesting.
早先拐了我的宝贝下界，用剑
That's
大
the
圣
real
之
young
力
monk.
把我的后天大儿变成了销魂夺魄的邪宝，还化作我模样，假我之名诓来了许多旧仇，一心逞能报复。
大肚皮，我早该猜到是你。
恕罪，恕罪。
哼，管你一次我信，管你2次猪都不信。
我也不信，谁知这孽畜胆子这么大。我本要亲自收他，不料2位施主先到，不能。你自是福大命大，而他年纪轻轻，竟如此了得。这回或许没看错人。
莫讲这些不帮衬的话。你那黄眉小儿失足淹死是小，大师兄的东西若是丢了，再找寻起来就难了。
你那9齿钉耙，且借我用用。
This one is one of the more interesting animated short films in the game. One of the things I like about the animations is that for each chapter, the animations are very different stylistically.
师兄此番下界，倒是去了好久。说人话。
这回我又赢了，金蝉子。
祸乱人心，道果为因。师兄如此执着输赢，可笑，可悲。
若不能赢，还长什么因果人心
？And so with this, chapter 3 has come to an end.
事后不过自封齐天，那四庆童儿却敢自立宗庙，自封世尊。亏得你佛心坚韧，勇猛无惧，竟抵住了他的引诱。那些个星君魔将、高僧大能，一个个乱了性情，坏了道心，真是因为放不下心中的偶像。你一路迎霜冒雪，可曾嗅到使人痴心破灭的味道？
We have our third relic. We have some stuff that I probably won't use. And we have an intro to chapter 4. I think chapters 3 and 4 are probably the longest chapters in the game. Five and 6 may be the two shortest.
你这快些走吧，休要误了我持久。我闻到那药婆有些个怪癖，8节4时都要进补，每次进补必要成亲。有次夫人来此贺喜，挑了面宝镜做礼，名为照骨镜。且慢，照骨镜，我记得夫人时常念叨。 言语间好生可惜了。哎，你听我说完后话。那妖婆拿镜子一照，就失了神，转身就把镜子扔了。夫人因此
I think for future chapters, I'll probably edit out the start of the subsequent chapter. For continuity purposes, it makes more sense to sort of have that at the beginning of chapter 4 than at the end of chapter 3. Unless I was going to go ahead and start chapter 4, which I'm not. So we're gonna wrap things up as soon as this intro is over, and when we come back, we will jump into chapter 4, which is a little different because of the vertical nature of chapter 4. So unlike some of the other chapters where it's a little bit, the layout is a little bit easier to figure out. That's not true for chapter 4. So if you want to continue on this journey, every Tuesday and Friday, I will be uploading new videos. But thanks for joining me. This is Reg from Pax Aria saying goodbye, take care, see you next time.